Hi, boys and girls. It's math time. Today, the title of our lesson is Subtraction from Addition. Think addition. We've talked about this before, where when we subtract, we actually think about addition. We think about counting up or counting forward from a low number. Today, we're going to work with making a number story, making a story out of a number sentence using subtraction. We're going to think addition when we do this, though. And then I'm also going to teach you how to make some problems, some number sentences from Domino's. All right, let's get started. Your first step today is to use this problem, 10 minus 3 equals 7, and I would like you to make up a story for the number sentence 10 minus 3 equals 7. You may go ahead and get out your journal, your spiral bound journal that has papers inside and a pencil, and I would like you to go ahead and write down a number story based on this problem here. Again, it's 10 take away 3 equals 7. Go ahead and pause the video so that you have time to make your own story. When you are making your subtraction story, I want you to also think about the unit that you are using. If your story is about butterflies, then write butterflies. If your story is about cars, then write cars. Whatever your story happens to be about, make sure that you include that in your unit box. Hopefully, you have had time to come up with a subtraction number story using this number sentence, 10 minus 3 equals 7. You may have done one of two things. You may have made a change to less story. We start out with a number of items, like 10, and then we decrease the number of items, and then we find out the number of items that are left. So again, we start out with a number, we decrease is another word, a synonym for subtract. We decrease another amount, and we end up with a certain amount of items that are left. So these are called change to less stories. Let me go ahead and give you an example of a change to less story. Here is the example. Zeke had 10 cars. He lost 3 cars. How many cars does Zeke have left? When I see words like he lost, I'm going to know that that is a subtraction number story. Or if I see questions like, how many does someone have left? I'm also going to know that that's a subtraction number story. So, did you figure out the answer? Of course you did, because it's up here. So, Zeke had 7 cars left. If I wanted to draw a picture to go with this number story, I could draw 10 cars. I could just use circles. And I could, since he lost 3, I could cross out 3 of these pictures, and I could count what is left. That's one way to figure it out. I could also write a number model to go along with the story. Another couple of important things to notice or to include when you write a number story, well, we need information. We need one piece of information, we need another piece of information, and then we need a question. So the thing about number stories is it includes words, and a number story also includes numbers, and most importantly, there is something in the story that we have to figure out. In this case, we have to figure out how many cars does Zeke have left. All right, friends, here is one more example of a change to less subtraction number story. There were 10 birds in the tree. Molly hit a home run ball that scared 3 of the birds. Those 3 flew away. How many birds are left in the tree? So again, we start out with a certain amount. In this case, it's birds. So we start out with 10 birds. I wrote a sentence about that. I wrote a sentence about what happened. Well, actually used 2 sentences to share that. The ball came towards the birds in the tree, and 3 of them were frightened, and those 3 flew away. So how many birds are left in the tree? Again, we have some key words like left, flew away. Those kinds of words tell me that it's a subtraction number story. All right, I would like to show you another type of subtraction number story that's called a comparison number story. Let's look at that next. I should also mention to make sure that your unit box matches what you're talking about in your story. All right, here is another example of another type of subtraction number story that you could possibly write. This is called a comparison, where we compare 2 or more things and then we figure out the answer. So I also have my unit box because I'm writing about something that's new. So let's go ahead and read this story problem and see what we should write in the unit box, and maybe even see what kind of number sentence we should write. Journey has 10 dolls. Araya has 3 dolls. How many more dolls does Journey have than Araya? Well, it's very clear that my unit is dolls because that's what my story is all about. It's about how many dolls these 2 friends have. So in this case, I know 2 different quantities. I know that Journey has 10. I know that Araya has 3. Now we are going to compare those 2. The question is, how many more dolls does Journey have than Araya? If you see the words, these are key words. If you see the words, how many more than, again, how many more than, that should automatically tell you that you are comparing something and you need to subtract to find the difference. So I'm going to make my number sentence down here. Journey has 10. Araya has 3. I know that it says how many more than, so I know that that's subtracting. And the answer is 7. So my question, how many more dolls does Journey have than Araya? She has 7 more dolls than Araya. So again, this is called a comparison number story when you compare 2 different quantities that you already know about. We knew about the 10 dolls. We knew about the 3 dolls. The question was, how many more does Journey have than Araya? And we figured that out by making a subtraction problem. Go ahead and take some time right now to share your story that you made up with a friend that's sitting close by you in the classroom, or if you're at home, a family member, or raise your hand and maybe your teacher will call on you to share a story that you just made. You guys did a really great job with your subtraction number stories. You gave it a great try. Thank you so much. The last thing that we're going to talk about today is using a domino to help us come up with not only addition facts like we've done in the past. We came up with addition facts and then we turned those facts around to come up with yet another addition fact. Today, we're going to use these dominoes to also come up with some subtraction facts. Let me show you what I mean. Here I have drawn a domino with 5 dots on one side and 4 dots on the other. What addition facts can you come up with by looking at this domino? Which addition facts describe this domino? If you said 5 plus 4 equal 9, you are correct. Give yourself a pat on the back. Can you also turn these around? Absolutely. We can do the turnaround problem because we know that we can do turnaround problems when we work on addition. So we can turn these around to say 4 plus 5 equals 9. Well, did you know that we can also come up with a subtraction problem? Not only one subtraction problem, but we can also come up with 2 subtraction problems based on just this one domino. We're starting to get into what we call fact families. So we're going to be kind of putting this little domino into a family, making a little family of number problems out of this domino. How many dots do you see in all on the whole entire domino? If you said 9, you're correct. So when we make a subtraction problem, we start out with the total number of dots. You can see the total number of dots here in the answer or the sum of the addition problems. But we're making subtraction now. So I'm going to think about the whole entire domino, and that would be 9. If I subtract, I need a minus sign. And then I'm just going to pick one of these sides to subtract first. So 9, take away 5. We'll do take away 5 first. Equals, guess what? It equals the other side, 4. We can also reverse that around. Again, since we're subtracting, we always start with the highest number. And in this case, it's 9. 9 minus, let's subtract the right side first this time. 9 minus 4 equals, you guessed it, 5. So we have actually made 4 number sentences based on looking at this one domino. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 take away 5 equals 4. And 9 take away 4 equals 5. Have you noticed that there are only 3 numbers that I used in this entire problem? I used a 5, I used a 4, and I used all of the dots together, 9. Those are the only 3 numbers I used for this entire problem. Let's go ahead and look at another one. Okay, this time I have drawn a domino vertically. It's going vertically up and down. So, first of all, I want to go ahead and think of my addition problems that I can make looking at this domino. I could even write my addition problems going vertically as well. So in the top of the domino, I have 3, 6, 9 dots plus, remember, since my domino is drawn vertically, I can write my number sentence vertically as well. 9 plus 5, when I draw this line, that means equals. 9 plus 5 equals, what did you get for that? If you said 14, you would be correct. Can I turn this problem around? Make a turnaround problem and get the same answer? Absolutely. No matter how you shake it down, I'm always going to get the answer of 14 if I am doing an adding problem because there are 14 dots total. So I'm going to write it the reverse way. 5 plus 9 equals 14. I can also make some subtracting problems using these same numbers. Again, I am only using 3 numbers altogether. I'm using a 14 I'm using a 9, and I'm using a 5. There are no other numbers that I'm using right now. So if I'm going to come up with a subtraction problem, I want to definitely start with the highest number because we can only take away from a high number. So 14 minus 9 equals, yep, you guessed it, 5. And we can do the turnaround for that. 14 minus 5, in this case, these two are turning around. 14 minus 5 equals 9. So this is how we use addition and subtraction together. It all works. It's in the same family. All right, friends, we're going to look at just a couple more problems today. This one does not have to do with dominoes. Instead, we are going to be thinking about another addition strategy. This is called the think addition strategy. Even though this problem is telling me to subtract, I am going to use the think addition strategy to help me solve this problem. Now, when I look at 15 minus 9, that seems like a little bit hard to me. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to think about this missing answer right here. I know that 9 plus this missing answer right here should equal to 15. If I think about what I just did with the dominoes, I know that I'm only using 3 numbers. So I just discovered with the dominoes that I can make adding problems and subtracting problems using one number model. So I'm going to think about adding to help me solve this subtraction problem. Yes, that sounds kind of funny. So I know that 9 plus what number equals 15? Did you say 6? You are correct. 15 minus 9 equals 6. Absolutely. The other thing I can do is think about adding. 9 plus 6 equals 15. If I think about the last number, 9, the part that's being subtracted, plus the answer, if I add those two together, it should give me my very first number that I started with. Let's look at one more. All right, here's the last one that we're looking at. Again, I'm going to use the think addition strategy to help me figure out this subtraction problem. Oh, that sounds so funny every time I hear that. So I am going to be looking mainly at this number here, the 7, and I'm going to imagine in my head 7 plus what is the missing number? 7 plus what equals 14 as the answer. Do you maybe want to use a doubles strategy to help you with this one? If you said 7, you are correct. So 14 minus 7 equals 7. But I also know that 7 plus 7 equals 14, my starting number. Phew, that was a lot to take in one lesson. Boys and girls, your teachers are going to be working with this skill more with you as the week goes along. You guys did a really great job paying attention. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.